Let's do it.
And so it'll be live on my personal. So if you guys want to go and share it to wherever you want to share it real quick, we got about a 15-second lag.
I got blocked.
It's all good. Don't even stress. I'm gonna share it into the group as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna share it to our.
Yeah, share it to your shit. So let me go find my page. What's going on? Facebook. Give us a second to get this shared and stuff and move it around.
Yep.
And then I got Trey and Heath from the Why Is It Like That podcast. I'm super stoked to get into it with you guys tonight. Why would you? No, just let me share this thing. Let me do it. Nope. Share to a group. Share public. Share to a page. Share in a group. And then we're gonna put this in saving. Sailors post. Right on, homies. What's going down?
What's up, homie?
What's up, man?
Not much, man. I'm super interested how you guys got your podcast started. So let's just dive right into that.
Okay.
That's cool.
You can do that. So, I was doing a blog. I just started it up. And I kind of needed it because I came from an inpatient program. They said they recommended journaling and things like that to kind of keep my flow going, keep my mental stability up. So I didn't get down in depression and stuff like that. So I did. I kind of was like, you know what? I think that, the why was there, which is I want to help people not fall into the same type of thing or recognize what I'm going through. And hopefully they can recognize something themselves and therefore they can kind of draw off of that and get help if they need it or whatever. And I think that Trey saw that and he jumped right on board also. He's going through and I'm not going to elaborate on his stuff. I'm going to let him do that. But he jumped on board with me. He's like, hey, how about you start a podcast up? And I was like, you know what? I've never tried that. I kind of was a little weary of it. But I was like, you know what? If God's putting it in front of me as something to do, then why not? If I'm over here writing about stuff, why can't I just talk about it? So I jumped on board and we've been doing that since. So Trey, you can.
Yeah, I saw his blog and I know what he had went through. And he was putting it out there, like writing stuff down. I'm like, man, we could also do this. I just wanted to do like an interview thing with him. Not really like a whole series and a podcast. I just wanted to kind of like get his take on what he was doing with his blog and what happened. I'm like, man, I got a little USB audio box. I got some mics. I know how to do a little bit of audio processing. Let's do it. And he came to my house. He just came to my house with bullshit. And then he's like, let's record right now. I'm like, oh, damn. For real? He's like, yeah. All right. And we did it. And like, I made a little page and stuff like that. And then like a month of it being up, it like skyrocketed. So that's where we're at. And then we started getting donations from local people in town that wanted to help with mental health. And we got a studio now, like a place where we can actually record instead of me telling my kids shh, like every 5 seconds. So they can be happy. We can be happy. So, and now we're here, man. Made a website. We put everything out. We're just trying to help people, man. Just trying to share our story, really. Like, we're not experts or anything. We're just sharing our story.
Yeah, man, that's like, what even really more do you need to do? Like, that's my opinion. Like, we can make it as pro as we can, but sharing the story, I think, is the most important thing. We've seen it blow up this week. I mean, that was my stories from 4 years ago, and I'm just now 5 years ago, and I'm just now really putting it out there in a way that I know that Navy is going to see it. So like, I've been on podcasts before and I've shared my stories, but this is like really the first time that I did it where I knew the people that I was going to serve with were going to see it. And the way that it's blown up this week has been kind of crazy. So yeah, it's been really cool. Yeah. And I'm stoked to have caught up with you guys in the same things where I love the fact that you guys are still in. I think that's really badass. Like really, really badass that you guys are still in.
So what's funny is everybody that I know, like I had guys come up to me today because I work a second job off the installation, and they were like, how's your podcast going? So definitely it's getting out there. I'll admit, as active duty, it's kind of scary. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the reason why I say that is because I know that it's probably going to be under high scrutiny, especially when you're looking at senior ranking people leading the charge, like yourself, and you've been there. You know what kind of what kind of crap goes on behind the scenes of the masquerade ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the big idea, man, this is, and I took this from a business model from Apple actually, and I was kind of looking into it, and it's the why that's important. It's not the bennies, man. It's not the clout. It's not the likes. It's not any of that. It's the why we do it. That's what it's making us blow up, because we're out there putting out the no, and I hope that, people don't take foul language and stuff offensive. I really don't, because I'm kind of a non-filtered kind of guy. But we don't play the bullshit, man. I've been through the masquerade ball for 18 years and some change. Trey's over 12. You know what I mean? And we saw first line the big dick, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
No,
and
exactly what it means.
You know what it means. And
in the sky, because we are in Whidbey.
Yeah.
But there's a big serious disconnect, bro. Serious disconnect, and you've touched on it. With junior enlisted guys and the senior enlisted ranks, serious disconnect. And then there's a even more serious disconnect with DOD and the Navy,
like SecNav and shit like that.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely,
so
man.
What do you think happens? I have my own opinion, but I'm interested in you guys'. What do you think happens when those junior sailors are coming in and they're experiencing that disconnect, and then they transition when they cross that line from 6 to 7? Like, what do you think happens? Or maybe even during even during their first class years, maybe you guys might think. So what do you think happens to that disconnect? You think it's just part of the indoctrination, the induction, or whatever you want to call it? Like, what happens?
Okay, so I'll speak from my own standpoint of what happens, but I was one of the guys that were front runner, man. And I'm not talking about, boasting about myself. I'm pretty, I want to consider myself pretty humble. I mean, I did everything that I was required to do, plus some. And I was told that from a very young perspective of growing up in the Navy through the ranks, that this is what you have to do to succeed. If you want to get that pay grade, if you want to lead sailors, if you want to do this. And my whole thing when I joined was the defense of our country, period.
Mm-hmm.
And I joined prior to 9/11. When 9/11 happened, as a master in arms, my whole rating changed. It went to boots on the ground versus MP cop crap. Instead of writing speeding tickets, I was loading magazines, you know what I mean? Putting rounds down range against Al Qaeda, So, growing up through the ranks, and then that moment happens to where I'm sitting in Whidbey Island. I get the news, I get welcomed in to the office, and I'll never forget it, man. I really felt like this is where I belonged. I got hugs from everyone there in the mess. They're like, you made it. That was the big thing. You made it. And
Yep.
I went through induction. Again, when I went through induction, though, things kind of got a little bit hairy for me. I kind of was like looking around. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing, man? Because some of the shit that I saw from the senior rank started to show. And that was, you have a select core of chiefs that were there the whole time. And I'm talking about handful, man. I could count them right here.
Half a dozen. Yeah.
And
I'm with you.
The rest of the time, it was either the very first grip and grin or final night when the rest of the 700 something chiefs we have on the installation comes out to play.
Yep. Comes out to play. I feel you, bro.
And it was ridiculous. I thought in my mind, I didn't belong to that. I wanted something better for myself. I wanted to change the Navy to do things right for my sailors. And this was a bad start. So I was already hairy going in. And then I'll let Trey expound, and then I'll tell you the first story of me being on watch the first night I put on anchors. This shit's gonna blow your mind, but go ahead.
I think the disconnect happens, because sailors themselves they have this stigma about us, especially chiefs. Like, I see how much they clown us online. They're like, it's funny. I laugh because it's fucking true most of the time.
It's all true. 100%
it's fucking true. Like,
all you junior sailors are out there laughing at the three of us fucking chiefs right now. It's all fucking
it's
true.
all fucking
Continue
true,
to fucking clown, blow it up. You gotta make noise. Like, that's what we're hoping to do, to make a little bit of noise so fucking people listen. because it's
It's true.
ridiculous.
It is. And like, I've always been real transparent with my guys. Like, hey, if you need anything, and I'm like straight up, like, let me know.
Mhm.
But I mean, I'm the type, like I said, I'm an AO, so we grow up fucking tight as fuck. It's
Yep.
like we're our own mess coming, you know, when first day you're in this fucking shop. You know what I mean? But I think like as a khaki or anything like that, they see that and they're like, that dude ain't gonna do shit for me. You know what I mean? Or they're gonna just fucking stick me somewhere else. And then so they rather just be quiet, and then they might talk to their second class or the first class. And sometimes they think they can handle it, but like that's not the level to handle it also. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
So it's just it's a tricky thing. Like we talked about the other day, whenever they asked the sec def, right? It wasn't
Yeah,
sec
sec def.
def. They're like, what are you gonna do? Like, what is the answer to this? And he was like, I don't know.
Yeah, he's calling upon the deck plates, you know, to find an answer for this increase in
And that's
in
the thing, like,
suicide,
what
man.
is the answer? Like, what is the answer?
Do you think we don't know, or do you think we don't want to say it?
No, we know. We just don't want to say it.
Oh, yeah, I think it's people don't want to say it. What do you think it is? Let's say it. I'll say it. I'll go
What you-
first.
I'm
I'm
still
retired.
in.
It's all good. You guys are still in. No, I think that's exactly it. That's exactly it. It's that fear. Like if I say the truth, then the whole Chiefs creed, like more is going to be expected of you, more is going to be this, more is going to be that. Then like that's going to come down on us. And unless we're all like united, like the third class mafia, because we're not, we're just not.
Third class mafia. That's a true statement too, bro.
Dude, they are. They're freaking locked
yeah.
and loaded, bro.
Yeah,
They
man.
are. They're locked and loaded because they come in and they know the truth from the very beginning.
Yep.
And then it's just, you know, if your insecurity and lack of freaking goodwill towards yourself keeps you in too long, then you forget about it because a paycheck gets nice. And every time I got bumped up in rank, I thought I was going to change the world. Oh, I can change the world now. I'm a second class. I'm a first class. Or I'm a chief. I can change the world. And it's just like, you know,
Yeah.
it's a challenge. But I think, anyways, my answer is that the mission requires us to kill sailors.
That's a fucked up way to say it, and you're goddamn right.
That's what it is. The mission requires it.
And you know,
Because there's not enough time, there's not enough money, but we have plenty of freaking skin on sailors' backs to use. That's my opinion. That's why I left.
And so let me draw right into this then. So the first night on watch was a Monday night, and I got switched over to nights because I was the new chief, right? Yeah, you know how that goes. And so I was like, okay, cool. And I had 2 duty sections. I felt good. You know, I felt kind of refreshed. Season was over. Yeah, I had the new khaki smell on me, but that didn't change my perspective of leadership. So when I went in, I actually armed up that night, and I locked and loaded, got my magazines up, put my vest on. Everybody was like looking at me fucking crazy, man. It was awing to me because none of the chiefs there at that point in time armed up. So I armed up for my guys, and I checked out a fucking squad car. I did my vehicle checkouts and all this shit. And these guys, my troops are looking at me like I was a new fucking dude. Like, what the fuck is Chief doing? You know what I mean? Like, he's not in an office. What the fuck's going on? So I end up getting on the road, and how it all set in was when I called in, because when you go on patrol, you have to call in your call sign and what position you're going on to on the road. So usually, you know, I would call in as a watch commander, right? And I had to call RDC and say, hey, what is the call sign for a chief that's on the road? They're like, oh, you don't have one. It hasn't been used in like 3 years. I'm like, shit. So I was cracking up, right? I was like, okay, so I'm going to call in as that. That's what I want to do. And he's like, all right, well, you're going to call in as section chief then. I was like, okay, fine. So I did that. Bro, I got called in at 10 o'clock in the morning the next morning. No shit. And it was 2 of my brothers, right? And they were like, hey, man, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? What am I doing? What did I do wrong? You know, I downloaded all my shit. I had all my gear right. I took care of my guys. I rolled around patrol. You know, nothing crazy happened that night. So what the fuck? What are you guys talking about? You're not supposed to fucking arm up.
Why not?
And my whole fucking like shit fell out from under me, bro. Like at that point, I was floating in air. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me, man. They're like, no, you're setting a bad example for the fucking guys. You need to let your guys do that. You're micromanaging your fucking. I was like, what? I was like, excuse me? You know what I mean? Like, and we literally were going back and forth, man. And I was bowing up to these dudes in the office, like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. They're like, no, don't do that again. And I'm like, so here goes me lost in the sauce. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess I have to listen to my brothers, because in the mess, it was told to me that you guys fight and bicker amongst each other, but when you walk out the door, the majority wins and you're on the same
page,
fucking
yeah.
page. I did it. And I went downhill from there. My whole fucking mental stability went downhill from there. I didn't know who the fuck I was. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And my senior enlisted leader at the time, God bless him, man. He's a wonderful guy. I love him. And I'll say his name. I don't give a fuck. It's Master Chief Jason Willoughby. He's the fucking greatest Master Chief I've ever known. But that dude would look at me in the face every day, and he would have a decompression talk with me, because he knew I was going through something, but I'd never tell him. He's just like,
Yeah.
what's going on with you, bro? You doing okay? I'm like, yeah, Jay, I'm good, man. He's like, you don't seem yourself. He'd always tell me that. You don't seem yourself. I'm like, no, man, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. You know what I mean? Walk around the smiles and fucking, hey, I'm good. You need me to do something? Yeah. All right, cool. You know, go home. Just fucking hated my life.
Mm.
But you're absolutely right, man. They pulled it. They peel. We peel. We do it too. And I'm
We
guilty
do
of
it.
it.
We do it.
We've peeled the
100%
skin off the
done it.
sailors' backs because
Bro,
they make us
yeah.
look good. Period.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like I joined in 1997, and I remember like being part of the frickin' topside party, calling dudes pussies, faggots, and bitches that are tapping and getting off the boat.
Yep.
And then that was a freaking, it was that was a hardcore lesson for me when it was me, 15 years later. It was a really hardcore lesson, and really something that I really needed to realize, because it was like the more and more I stayed in, because I joined the Navy from like a hockey mentality. I played hockey growing up, that locker room stuff, like being evil to each other and like making each other tougher and all that stuff. And then when I got to the boat, I was like, oh snap, this is the same thing. This is my place. But then there was like, but then as you get into, you're like, oh man, this isn't healthy.
Yeah.
But then, you get bought in, and then these insecure answers that I'm going to give, like you have kids, you get married, you freaking get a couple of cars, you freaking do all this stuff, and you get bought in, and the indoctrination and the training and the freaking fear. And then it's just, before you know it, you're the exact thing that, for me, I became the exact thing that I hated more than anything else.
You're absolutely
And that
fucking
really,
right, man.
dude, that broke me the fuck down. It really
Yeah.
did. And then, I remember being a career counselor as a first class on my third boat, and like talking to guys who were like, I don't know, I don't really want to re-enlist, but 45 grand is a lot of money. And it's like, I remember just being like, dude, get out, don't do it, get out. And then a year later, I would re-enlist to do it for more. And because it's like, so where's the truth? What's the right answer? And so it's a really, really, oh man, I had some guy blow me a bunch of bullshit yesterday on my Facebook post about, then why'd you resign? He's like, why don't you take responsibility? I was like, I am taking responsibility. Like, that's what I'm doing now. I didn't realize it then. We're all figuring this out.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting, dude.
That's what's tricky about, like you said, like in front of sailors and everybody else putting stuff like this out there now. Like, hey, this is my story, because now we're accountable to some degree of like, you know what I mean? On some stage, because it's social media and everything else. They're like, well, you said that, you did this. What about whenever you did this back then? And like, for me, I'm like, look, man, I'm just saying what I go through and how I deal with it. And maybe we just can help that one person. I am no way saying I'm fucking perfect, or I'm fucking this person that has the answer, because that's not fucking it at all.
Yeah.
Just
so for all the
stepping out here, exposing ourselves pretty much, just to help.
Bro.
Exactly. And for the people that say, hey, what about this? What about that? I'd say it's called growth. Try it on. It's really fucking good for you. If I like all the stuff that I did do, all the stuff that I didn't stand up about, all the stuff that I said, I didn't say, I wouldn't change any of it, because I wouldn't be standing here with you guys right now otherwise. It's too important to freaking own that shit, so we can teach our junior sailors to own it earlier, and hopefully to get them to stand up, because I think it's up to us, like guys like us, and I know it's more like guys like you because I'm retired, but whatever. So to like say, hey, we're not going to do this anymore. Like when's enough? And it's just, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
I read a comment from Amy Dalton that stabs me in the heart, but it's true, man. It
Mhm.
says, she said, quote, "If we are all wrong, we are right. No individuals."
No,
And
right.
it's a double life. And goddamn, Amy, I mean, if you could have took the words out of my mouth, that's correct. And you know what's fucked up, bro, is I don't I joined the Navy and I envisioned myself as a certain way, and I was carrying along that way. And I can almost tell you honestly that I do regret putting on anchors to a certain extent, because as a first class down, I felt totally different, man. I felt like I was my own being. You know what I mean? Like I led by example. I did what I did. I fulfilled what was inside of me. Like I felt whole. When I put on khakis and that carpet got ripped out from under me and I had to play the fucking game that we all have to
Mhm.
play, I felt hollow. And that drove me to literally a
Yeah.
breakdown. I had a fucking terrible breakdown, you know. And what really drove the nail, and bro, I love being on your podcast. I could do a story on your podcast exactly about just my incident and what happened to me with with one of our chiefs, our brothers. But just to sum it up, I went to save a life. I 4 years from there, or 4 hours, man, in a standoff, sitting down, talking to this guy, saying, "No, you're worth it." He was telling me and I'll give you some of the things he was telling me, and this should probably, I mean, raise the hair on the back of your neck. But he said, "Why are you the only one here right now? Why isn't the rest of my mess here? Why do you guys fill my head with all this bullshit? None of it's true. Why, when I try to lead my sailors like I wanted to, and you guys promised that I could do that, why do you tell me I can't?" How the fuck do you talk to somebody and promise them it's going to be okay? And I did. I was like, "Bro, you're not alone. I'm right here." "No, you're not. You're here because they sent you here." "No, man, I'm not. I'm here because I'm here for you." Short story, I got him out of that house and he was shot 3 times in the chest, and I got my leg like fucking blown off with a cop's rifle.
Hmm.
And I have to think about that every fucking year. And the toxic leadership in the captain seat at the time, and I don't give a shit. I don't. Because them fucking investigations and all that shit is over with, so they can fucking say what they want to say. That toxic leadership from a captain, he destroyed me inside and out. He fucking destroyed me, bro. He put me with a fucking gun in my mouth. I'm talking about literally. He alienated me for trying to do the right thing. He alienated me from my mess. He alienated me from the world because it was a bad look on him. But I'll leave that at that because, you know, I got a civil suit going on with that shit. But we'll talk.
Mhm.
We'll have a better conversation.
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah. No, I feel you, bro.
But I mean, if you want to start, there's where to start. You know how much toxic there's so many toxic officers out there. You know what I mean? Toxic chiefs. And it works its fucking way down the system. And everybody says exactly what they told you, bro. They say, "Well, then why did you resign? Why can't you play
Yeah.
the game? Why can't you you're weak. You're a pussy. You fucking can't do this right. You can't do." No, motherfucker. Fuck you. My eyes are wide open and I just don't want to play your fucking horseshit game no more. Uh-oh. Hold on.
No, dude, the silence is good for us. The silence is
Let that
healthy,
shit
man. No,
resonate, man.
Let it
rest, man.
Mhm.
And
I
that's what I read
remember-
with his stuff. I was reading his blog post and I knew what he was getting. He wanted this to be known, like to help other
Mhm.
people. And I'm like,
I just want
dude,
people to know that, like, stepping up to me was the best thing that I ever did. My best friend on the boat called me a week later and called me a coward. Called me up on the phone. "Hey, bro, you took the coward's way out. You should have sucked it up. This sucked it up and that." I was like, if I would have sucked it up, I'd be dead. Period.
Yep.
So I don't know what's more brave than that. Like, it just is what it is. And I remember being super mad when I got off the phone with that guy. And I just look back at it now and it's just like, no, that's just where he was, you know? He just wasn't ready to see me take responsibility for me. And that's just my story. So, you know, but Mm,
I
it's
read those.
fascinating.
It is, man, because you read that Chiefs Creed, and
Yeah.
I challenge all ranks of the enlisted, and I really don't think they understand. But maybe we can clear this up right here. But I challenge all ranks from pay grades from E1 through E6, including Chiefs, because they're supposed to be living that shit. But read that creed and hold your Chiefs accountable. Hold your chain of command accountable. If you guys have smartphones, and that's the biggest test, right, to the service these days, especially when we're trying to throw regulations at people and things like that. Motherfucker, pull up that Chiefs Creed and just be like, "Hey, Chief, did you read this creed?" I bet you that sent him through the roof. Actually, I don't recommend doing that because that might, you know what I mean, that might get into some shit. But if you want to know exactly what we sign up to do as a chief, you read that creed, and if your chief ain't living up to it, you might want to look for mentorship somewhere else, if that makes sense. But you hold back,
Man,
bro.
you guys are like my new best friends, dude. This is dope. I like it. I like it. This is my shit. Fuck, man. What do we do? What do we do from here?
You got to spread this motherfucking word. That's what we got to
Yeah,
do, man.
Spread it. Spread it.
But I mean, we gotta, you know, we tell our sailors and stuff, go get help, right? Let me go. I'll get you the number to family, you know, one source, or I'll get you
Yeah.
to mental health. Then you go there. It takes you damn 3 fucking months to get a damn appointment,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Or some of them just say they're going to commit suicide just so they can get in faster. They're like, I think I'm going to do that. Like when I talked to my therapist, she already retired, and she was like, why didn't y'all tell me this shit? I'm like, because nobody listened. You know what I mean?
Nobody listens.
I'm like, you're the only one I would see. I wouldn't see nobody else. And y'all don't refer us out in town, nothing.
Yep.
And then whenever we do talk to y'all give us this big old long thing to sign and say, saying, well, anything you tell us, they could, you know, the commander could get in your record and see. But it would take a lot for that to happen. But just knowing that alone, they're like, well, they could take a look in there. You don't say shit then. You go in there and you just give them a little piece of what you're feeling.
Yep.
You can't really let it all out. They write you some meds here and there. And then with that stuff, like, I'm like, oh, I can't load bombs now because I'm fucking on meds or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Like,
and you know what I'm saying? That's another one.
I do. I know exactly what you're saying. I used to tell the story to my sailors before I got out. So you have 2 name tags on your shit. One says U.S. Navy, the other says Chiraba or Trevino or Garcia, right?
Yep.
And so the truth of that shit is that the U.S. Navy, the reason that's there is to remind you that that's number one. You know, it's number one. U.S. Navy is the one that's over your heart. Am I right? Or am I screwing that up?
Oh, shit.
Nope.
Yeah. U.S. Navy is the one that's over your heart. So U.S. Navy is always going to do what's best for them. Always.
Mhm.
And so it's up to you, freaking Seaman Timmy or Chief Jimmy, to freaking you have to stand up and take care of yourself. And like, you know, fuck, man. And it's just,
You're your biggest
Vince,
advocate. You are going to be your
have to be.
biggest advocate.
You have to be. There's no other choice. It's either that or you're going to die. Like, you know, just is what it is.
Mhm.
Like, that was my choice. It was like, I got to advocate for me. That was my last eval set. It was like Chief Chiraba, his dedication to the freaking USS Greenville is unquestionable. But recently he's been being guided by his own values instead of the Navy's core values. And I was like, well, that's a really dick thing to say, but it's also 100% true because it was either that or drive my truck into a freaking 18-wheeler. That was the choice. And, you know, it's freaking, man. Hope you guys
but like I'm saying, man, like you go and you talk, but they're like, here's all these things. If you say, like if you're like, oh, I'm drinking a lot right now, I can't really. They're like, oh, well, we're gonna send you to DAPA then right away, and then DAPA's gonna send you down to San Diego. You know what I mean? Somewhere or Madigan, like over here. Like, there's so many knee-jerk reactions on shit. Like, it's like I just need to talk to somebody, and you tell me if I'm fucked up or not. But I don't need everybody else to be in my damn business now. Like, it takes a lot just to go and make that appointment, just to talk to that seaman. That's the corpsman, and he's asking you these questions, interviewing you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you feel like
I remember that shit because I did that. No, I went to mental health, and there was the E3 interviewing me, and I was like, oh man, this is cool.
Yeah.
The seaman's probably like, I'm usually, you know, It's me. It was a chief and a bunch of E3s in there. It was
telling
fucking
you.
hilarious. It was like the best thing ever, and they loved it because they're like, you know, because it's like, oh, this really
I think
happened.
it's so funny.
It's freaking
the,
hilarious.
the waiting room in mental health. Everybody just looks
It's
at each
so
other.
hilarious.
They're just like, "Yep." Nobody talks. Everybody's like, "Yeah." It's like the shame room. Everybody's like,
yeah,
you
yeah,
see one person's like, "Hey, I didn't know you come here."
man, yeah,
But
dude.
getting to that, like something I believe there's some reform that needs to happen with seeing a provider when it comes to that aspect. It needs to be better. Like, why nobody's gonna open up if from the jump they're like, well, people can read this shit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and
Like,
yeah,
there's laws out in town for a reason, so people can talk. But they say, oh, if you have imminent violence or death to yourself or other ones, okay, that's yes, okay, but not the way in the Navy you were to say some shit. They're like, well, we're gonna go fucking right away and we're gonna go talk. Like the therapist had when she walked out, she said, man, she's like, they told me that there was one of the therapists here. Everything you would tell her, she'd go and turn around and tell the skipper. She'd call your skipper right away for any little thing. I'm like, then why come? Why come? You're just telling on yourself, and it makes it even worse.
And I was on submarines. If you say suicide, you're off the boat. Period.
Oh yeah, and that's
You're
a
off the
big
boat.
thing. Mhm.
Yeah, you're off the boat. So it's like, and I remember when I went to, another thing about the therapists, that's they're also wearing US Navy on their outfit. And their job it's two choices. They have one job. They either clear you or stamp you out, period. They're not there to fix you. They're there for the Navy. That's their orders. And Greg Smuck, the chief that's one of my buddies over here the other day, it was so crazy. The night I met, the morning before I talked to you guys on the phone, my boy here's back in the day, him and I coined the Saving Sailors hashtag because nobody's ever said that before. So we're sitting here on the freaking stoop looking out into the ocean. There's a fucking submarine floating by. I've never seen one from my freaking porch ever. And then when my sub buddies here, we're looking at it and it's there. Anyways, but fuck, I got so offline. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
You said providers.
Yeah.
Providers, they're wearing.
Oh,
they're looking out for themselves.
He's talking about why he said, why aren't the chiefs holding themselves accountable to the chief's creed? It's because our orders contradict it. The orders that were given to carry out contradict that shit. It just doesn't work. The mission requires us to dodge. I mean, how many times have you been yelled at to follow a policy or a guideline or something written in a procedure until you're on mission and they're like, let's break the rules because we got to stay on mission. Like, it's just, everything's, it's all convenient.
Met TC, man. Met TC.
Yeah. So it's just like, are these rules or are they not rules? Is this, I remember one of the things that used to kill me would be on subs. We got a freaking, what's the list? Greg, what's that list where you got to have stuff fixed? Because if you don't have this stuff fixed, the DFS, departure from specs, we'd have like laundry lists of departure from specs. We're not supposed to go below freaking X amount. All right, we're going to go below because we got to test it. Like, why are we testing it? It's broken.
It's
like,
essential shit.
Yeah. It's just like, dude, Greg, I'm with you 100%, bro.
Yeah.
It is weak chiefing. It is. We're surrounded by it. I've been guilty of it. I've been guilty of it. The green
here's
book.
the thing too. Here's the thing too, Greg, is I definitely agree with what Greg's saying. But the general consensus, right, especially here, or areas like here, should I say, is we're still human beings too. So though we decide, hey, yeah, we accept the rank, we go through initiation, yeah, blah, 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 right? And we get all, we still have to go home. We have to take care of our families. We have to do this, that. So guess what? We can't be super chief. You know what I mean? And the problem with the pay grade itself is everybody told me that shit was going to be easy, man. I don't know about you, but they're like, hey, being a chief's going to be fucking cake, right? And then you jump in it. And if you're doing it right, that anchor will fucking sink you to the bottom of the ocean. I'm telling you right now. And Greg, a lot of guys want to fucking say they're chiefs. They want to fucking be, oh yeah, creed this, creed that. Fucking, we're here till fucking it gets done and blah, 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 blah. But guess who's there when the shit needs to get done? The fucking junior sailors working.
Yeah.
And the chiefs are out fucking at the chief's mess. They're out fucking taking care of errands. They're out doing it, and we're all guilty. I'm guilty of that shit. I can't fucking sit here and preach and be a hypocrite, man. I've done it.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean?
Guilty.
So I'm telling
Same.
you right now, Greg, if you think that I'm weak, yeah, I've been a weak chief at moments. But guess what? We're all bred like that too. You know what I'm saying? We all witness what the fuck goes on in the mess. And it ain't going to change, bro, because you can't change every fucking Tom, Larry, and fucking Mary out there. You know what I mean? And everybody follows the weakest example. I hate to say it, but if you tell them, hey, this guy can cut out, it's okay. And you're going to see another guy cut out at the same time. It's just the way it is. And it fucking sucks. Is it fair? No. It's
No,
not.
it's not.
Because
not.
we expect our junior guys to uphold what the fuck we signed up to uphold. And that can be fucking coined. You want to see a chief? Look at a prime E6 and his fucking running man that's trying to make it. That we pump his fucking head up so full of shit that he doesn't know where the fuck he's at. Every fucking guy that I've talked to last season was going through marital issues, problems.
Yeah.
Because
All of
they
us.
pushed themselves so fucking hard to be the number one, just to put on an anchor. Because
And then
that's
to be
what it's supposed
broken down during the season to break that 101 thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
We push them for freaking 10, 12, 15 years to be number one of one. And then the second they cross over, we break them down for 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And tell them that you ain't shit. You're a part of the group.
It's the stupidest thing.
Oh man.
Oh, man. This is fun.
It's
It's fun just
It's
complaining.
truth, man. That's the thing. That's why it's
Truth.
fun.
No, it's good.
Truth.
It's good. I'm glad everybody's freaking.
And I love,
Man.
you know what's hard about it, man, is I love the Navy. I've loved the sailors I've worked with.
Dude.
It's been a hell of a ride, man. I'll admit.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. I'm not trash talking the Navy. I'm just trash talking the bullshit that goes on in the Navy. And what's leading sailors to inevitably put shotguns in their mouths and jump off of bridges and hang themselves in their fucking houses. And fuck,
Yeah.
man, I've seen some grotesque shit that sailors do, and you would not expect somebody to be able to carry that shit out.
Yeah.
Like, fuck me, man. You know, like I just can't believe it. We've had suicide after suicide after suicide, and and then the answer. let's look at the answers now, right? Hey guys, I can almost hear the conversation that goes up watching. Hey Phil, what's up, Mo? Hey, so we have an uptick in suicide. How are we going to do that? I don't know. You know, I got this coffee meeting that I got to go to at 10. I got a Pentagon meeting at 11, about 12:30. Then I got lunch, and then I got to go to this. Put that on the schedule. Let me get to it. Okay, we'll do that. And then
Issue blanket statement.
then the
Yeah.
uptick continues.
Yeah.
And
Put
all
something
along
on
the-
Twitter.
Yeah.
You guys see that thing last year when the Army freaking posted that thing and on Twitter and it blew up? Army was
You
like,
gotta
tell us
refresh
your
me on
Army
that.
story. No, it was just like, tell us something about the Army that's made you, that like something that you've used. And then it was just everybody like, I lost a leg. I got shot. I freaking have PTSD. It was like the Army was trying to pump people up and make people all badass and had
Yeah.
some sailor like getting ready. He was some soldier like getting ready to go to boot camp saying, I want to be a warrior. And then like all the people that have already served, it like totally flipped the script. I'll have to find that and post it on here because it's like, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. We expect, we ask, oh man, one of my other favorite stories too, and this is something that I think is part of the problem, is that back 200, 300, 400 years ago when we had wooden ships, and if they pulled into freaking, I don't know, Tortuga and they were short sailors, they went into the alley or to the bars and they found the dudes that were freaking passed out drunk or got in trouble and were locked up. And they said, hey, we'll take these guys off. And you wake up the next day and you're underway.
Mhm.
And it's like, get to work if you want to get back to home, you know? And so I
Yeah.
think we're not doing that now. We're not like picking guys up, even though I've known plenty of guys that was like, I was either join the Navy or go to jail, you know?
Yep.
So, you know, I know plenty of guys like that, but at the same time, it's like energetically, that's why I joined. I joined because I didn't know what the fuck else to do. I joined because I came from a freaking poor family. I moved freaking 35 times before I graduated high school, and it's like I didn't know what else to do. So I joined the military, and then when you get there, your purpose is issued to you in your sea bag. And then you just start, then it just starts. Like, you found it. This is the greatest place, world's greatest Navy, submarine force. You're never going to find anything better. I remember my captain coming on the cruise mess, be like, you'll never find a job that's cooler than freaking submarines. And the guys were like, I stare at a gauge for 6 hours. This isn't cool. You know, like, it's not. And so it's just, everybody, it's funny because people, it's this last year, people have been asking, Ryan, you got to talk more about the Navy. You got to talk more about the submarine. Tell more of your story. I was like, this is all I have to talk about is how messed up it is. It's not like, yeah, you've seen the video where the submarine jumps out of the water. That's like 0.001%. The rest is all the freaking pain and anguish and freaking broken sailors that goes to making a freaking 7,000 pound piece of thing jump out of the water. That's really it.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah.
And I think that one of the biggest issues that we have is just that the Navy is we as a country, if you really think about the big scheme of things, as a country, we have to always be better than the competition. That's why we are the strongest nation, the strongest force, right? So to do that, check this out. You have to be that much better, and you have to push your people that much more to do much more, to be better. But guess what fucking happened not too long ago? They cut our force. So now you got sailors that are pulling these fucking god-awful, outrageous hours now with minimal fucking equipment, barely can get shit going. You know what I mean? And they're pushing them to the extent, to their max, to their breaking point.
But make the damn flight schedule.
Yeah, they're pushing us to the breaking point, man.
Make the damn flight schedule. We better have 3. You know what I'm saying? We better. Y'all told us we're in a stand down right now. Nope, we ain't got no parts. We ain't got no people. But I know we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it happen, guys. Because we can make it happen.
No, yeah, we can.
We can make it happen, but there's a cost.
True.
There's a cost.
There is a cost, and I'm a firm, like, I have never ever met anybody in my life is amazing as sailors and the things that we do overcome. And one of the things that I remember talking to one of my buddies, his chief, he's in the Navy 19 and a half years, and he had done like 11 deployments or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he snapped. It's like 19 and a half years, like almost there. And he came off the boat with like 4 months left in his tour. And he's like, and he was like, I feel like such a bitch, like this. I didn't make it. Da, 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 da. I was like, bro, you pushed your physical body as far as it would go. Like, what's more badass than that? You know, if you want to look at it that way, like, you push yourself as far as you could, and your body's like, nope, that's enough. I'm done. You know, and that's just really what it is. And so if you're in the Navy 6 months and you break, or you're in the Navy 25 years and you break, like, you push yourself as far as you could go. And so that's something to acknowledge. That's something to take credit for, you know, and don't compare yourself to freaking, I guess somebody in here knows Chief Jimmy, so I'm going to keep using his name because, you know, like somebody, so it's just like, you know, you've pushed yourself as far as you could possibly go.
I think that's what happens with us. We get caught up with comparing ourselves to the next person. Cause I think that number one mentality, like you're talking about, like trying to always be the best. So you're always comparing yourself. Like, I gotta be tougher. I gotta do this.
Man,
that's how I think the hardest ever was when I was a first class at was one of the Marine outfit I was with in Miramar. Man, we'd come in, you're a supervisor, right? You better be the first one in, the last one out. Your fucking day check soup. Okay. Showing up at fucking 3 a.m. to load fucking live bombs. And then at the end of the day, and I will admit, my gunner was a Marine. He was a Marine warrant officer, and he'd fucking be there too. All the way to the end. The end of the night, one of the bombs didn't go off right. Me and him, he's like, the people that went, we call it the Kayla crew guys, we're staying and we're going to troubleshoot that jet. Make sure that it wasn't our fault. And I tell you, he was there. We were all there together. We send the gunny home. You go home. We got this. But those were some of the fucking toughest 3 years of my life, was working those psychotic hours. And then like, oh, I'm going to be the fucking staff NCO association, fucking whatever the fuck. And I'm going to go fucking volunteer, and I'm going to go to college. I'm going to be my son's soccer coach.
Yeah.
All
you're
this
doing
shit.
You're doing your midterm counselor. They're like, you know, you could go for your doctorate. Do you have your PhD
like,
yet?
no shit.
When the fuck you want me to do this?
Dude.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And I will admit, I fucking put on anchors and I just,
dude, stop.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm so fucking tired. You know what I'm saying?
But isn't that the truth though?
It's like the reward.
truth.
I made it.
Right.
And then
Because
it's-
they pump.
I made it. I don't have to do anything else. I'm
That's
done.
the fucking pinnacle, right?
But it shouldn't.
It shouldn't
It
stop.
shouldn't
It
be.
shouldn't. It shouldn't.
No.
But it's. I mean, we don't hold ourselves accountable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If-
It's ridiculous.
If you're like all the guys, we're gonna go take a lunch, guys. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, we're all guilty of it. Who's gonna be like, but the guys are on the flight line right now. You know what I mean? Working flight schedule or something. Oh, fucking Dan or whoever has a flight schedule right now. We're all gonna go. You know what I'm saying? If all our fucking second classes are like, hey, we're all gonna go eat together, guys.
yeah.
Chiefs, y'all got it.
No, them fucking Chiefs mess would fucking rise up
They
like you
flip
wouldn't
out.
believe because
It's
they're,
just
they're all about child breaks. But I'm just saying, you know, here's the thing, man, is I can't count how many times
I
that,
can't count either. I'm an AO.
yeah, well, no shit.
1, 2,
But
3 left.
how many times that I've walked by or through my precinct and I've got so much shit on my mind. Like I said, I started, crashing hard, but I had so much shit on my mind that some of my watch commanders and stuff would ask me questions about things that are going on. And I wouldn't have a clue what the fuck was going on, but I'd be like, yeah, it sounds great. Go ahead, run with that shit. You know what I mean? Dude. And it sounds
Danger, Will
shitty.
Robinson.
It sounds shitty as fuck. Okay. I mean, that is the worst epitome of leadership there is, but that's how far broken I became. And I didn't start out that way. You didn't start out that way, Ryan. Trey didn't
No.
start out that way. Nobody does. Amy, you didn't start out that way. Nobody starts out this way. Nobody says, well, fuck it. I'm just going to, you know what I mean? I'm going to scam my way out of everything, and I'm just not going to put any effort in. No, we break our fucking backs literally sometimes to get to where we're at. And when we get to that pinnacle, so they say, we don't have any more gas to fucking continue, bro. Where am I going to pull the shit from? You know what I mean? My family's gassed out. I can't fucking get any motivation from them because,
They want you home.
yeah, mama wants
Yeah.
me home. Shit. She's like, aren't you fucking done yet?
Yeah.
And
That's
that's
the
not a bad
fucking
thing.
truth,
That's
man.
not a bad thing to say. As a spouse, that is the right thing to say. Like, when the fuck are you going to be done?
Yeah.
And I never
What you
listened to
doing?
that shit. I never did
Yeah.
because the American dream that they have us living up to is you have to take care of your family and provide. You have to give them the best that you can get. And that's what we did. We went as
And
far
you're
as we can
selfless.
to get, yes, we had to go as far as we can because our family deserves the best shit we can get.
You have to do better than what your parents did for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
But this, like, I ain't trying to act fucking brag or whatever, but I made chief in 8 years, and I can fucking tell you, I think I fucking killed myself up to those fucking 8 years, just fucking doing work. And I gotta say though, my wife was a strong supporter. She'd be like, you need to try harder. You need to do this. You need to do that. Because like you said, the pinnacle, and then you reach the pinnacle and you're like, and like my aspirations were to be a fucking gunner. I wanted to be a gunner, an ordnance gunner. You know what I'm saying? A lieutenant. I wanted like, lieutenant commander, fucking, because you gotta be enlisted to at least to even get that. I wanted to be a captain. I'm sorry. I wanted to be the fucking AO captain. There's only one. Yeah, I wanted to fucking go all the way. I started seeing some shit though. I'm like, nah, I'll be a warrant then. They're fucking hardcore and shit.
Right.
But once I fucking reached chief, that's when I started getting in trouble. Like right when I reached chief, I was tired, and then you let those little guards down and shit.
Yeah.
And that's when I started getting in trouble. Like that's
Not
the
to
fucked up
mention-
part.
Not to mention, man, I don't know about you, but I started having fucking financial problems as a chief too. And this is why. And this is maybe a small topic or a small minute piece of it.
We're gonna have to run back to this. We're gonna do this again next week for sure.
Yeah. But it comes into compounding issues, right? Because now you got to pay mess dues, and you got to pay mess dues to this dues, right? And then it's like it turns into $200 all of a sudden, and then now you got to chip in for fucking season, and now you have to go to lunch, and now you have to pay for lunch, so you have to make sure you do that shit every day, because if you don't do that shit, then now you're not a team player, and if you're not a team player, you're not cool, so you can't hang with us, and we're going to kick you out of the mess, and you don't want to eat by yourself, right? So you're going to do this to fucking be one of us. And dude, you know how much fucking money I used to shell out every fucking month just to be a part of the fucking mess, bro? It wasn't like, hey, let's bring our fucking lunches in because we're fucking poor motherfuckers and we only living on E7 checks. You know what I'm saying? We're not rich.
Right.
Let's eat at the fucking, at the conference table or something. No. Hey man, let's go to the club. Bro, that's just like $20 a plate. It's all right, bro. Let's do it. All of us are going. Why aren't you going? All right, I'll go. Hey babe, let me use a credit card. Cool. No shit, man. And I'm throwing that shit out there because that shit's truth. If you're fucking blowing tons of money on something, stop. Because it ain't making you richer. It ain't making nobody else. It's making you feel bad. It made me feel terrible. All right.
It's putting your money in somebody else's pocket.
Dude, that's exactly what it is.
Oh, man.
Fuck, man. We got so much to talk about, dude.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to hop up here too because my wife's like, dinner's ready, bitch. You got to get out here and let's go. So
right,
I
Dungeon
think we should
Master's
probably
calling.
definitely, dude, for sure. Don't hate. All good. That's what I do. That's who I am. My life is so good now. So I'd be stoked for all the junior, if everybody that's watched. Like, thank you so much for being here. This is amazing. What are some stuff you'd love to hear us talk about? What's some topics you'd like us to get into, like in detail? And we'll have these guys back on again for sure. Like, we want to do this again next week. I don't know, I have to look at it, but whatever. But it's like, let's get on. We can make a special time. It doesn't have to be a Monday. But if you guys want to know more about like saving sailors, I just decided to start this group. What is today? Monday? Like on Saturday? Like I was like, I got to start a group. I don't know what to do. So this is for me, like we're still figuring this out. Trey and Heath wanted to hop in here and help out and do their part as well. And they've already got their podcast, which is amazing. And so definitely give them a listen as well. You can find them at facebook.com/WIILT podcast. There's a link for it in the thing to this video. So be sure to give them a follow and give them a listen. And Matthew Walker, we're considering it. Maybe they do a weekly. Your podcast is weekly or bi-weekly?
Weekly.
Because it's weekly. They do a weekly podcast. I just wanted to get in here because we've been talking about this. We had a conversation on Saturday about saving sailors and what we think that it can be. Yep. I'm still figuring that out. Right now, it's just a holding area for people to share and for people to, like, I kind of want to have a day where we all just be angry, because I talked to freaking 25 sailors on the phone between now and last Tuesday, and I got another 30 on the phone this coming week. And it's just people are mad. People are mad because they don't get it. They don't understand. They're confused. And like, just so use saving sailors as a space to vent and like, so we can learn how to do that shit constructively, because so many of us don't know how to constructively be frustrated or confused or depressed, or because there are constructive ways to be depressed. There are constructive ways to handle your anxiety. There's constructive ways to handle all this stuff. And so, we got these two guys on the podcast right here looking down like they're sending mental health of the shame thing because they won't look at the camera, but that's all good. I don't like to harass you guys
because there's a big ass light behind it.
Oh, right on. No, it's super bright in there. It's good. My light's like, I need to get more pro. I'm gonna get a light right here so it looks sexier next week. So
it's a little brick background.
Amy says she wants to talk about females in service. That would be really dope to get some females on here to literally talk about that on the show. So definitely, Amy, I love that idea. Anything else you think, just drop it in the comments or drop it in Saving Sailors. And then, just let us know. We love you guys so much. And cool, man. You guys got anything else?
Yeah, I do. I got just real quick,
Go
man.
for it.
Look, for those guys out there right now that are maybe just tuning in or just checking your stuff out, Ryan, just checking our stuff out. This is all real shit. Okay. We don't got no script. We're not sitting here trying to make tabloids and shit. What we're doing is we're putting a face to a fucking name is what we're doing. Yes, we are senior leaders. We've been there. We've done that. We fucked it all up too, but we've been fucked over, man. And we're not playing the bullshit no more.
Yeah.
You want the real skinny? You want the real deal? You fucking listen in, because we're about to put some shit straight on our perspectives. And I don't want you to stop. If you're a hard charger and things like that, just make sure you're charging for your family and yourself, man.
Yeah.
Because the Navy is going to
be locked.
The Navy is going to take every fucking thing they can from you and give you nothing else when it's time for you to fucking roll. Remember that. That's no shit the way it is. They will break your fucking back literally and give you a pension, a shitty one, and tell you, see you later. Because I got 40 more motherfuckers that just signed up, just like you, that are ready to get it. So have fun. And guess what? All you senior leader motherfuckers out there, you know, because
Senior leader motherfuckers.
Hey, no shit. Your fucking rank pops off as soon as you walk off the door. Nobody gives a fuck if you're a chief out in the civilian sector. And that's the goddamn truth. So if you really think that chief shit's going to get us somewhere, it don't get you a fucking nowhere. You could probably talk to Ryan more about that because he's been a civilian for a little bit. I'm getting a taste of it. I got plenty of friends out there that are civilians that retired as first classes and are better fucking people than half the chiefs I fucking know. Straight up. God bless you. I love you motherfuckers, man.
I love you guys so much. That was dope. Right on. Bye, brothers. I'll catch you later.
Yeah.
I'll be in touch. I'll hit you guys up tomorrow.
You awesome, brother. Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Easy. Peace. I'll see you guys later.
Later.
But